I don't think it's any coincidence that Sergio Ramos has a World Cup with Spain, and I don't think and he has multiple Champions League wins with Real Madrid, despite not being on any other team for since 2005 for the last 454 like professional like appearances. I think that Sergio Ramos he helps make your team a lot better. He solidifies your defensive line. And considering the fact that he's 6 foot and most like central defenders, they'll make him like 6'4", 6'5". Sergio Ramos to me, other than Virgil van Dijk, is still the most dominant center back in all of soccer right now. And I'll get into that in a bit. But for right now, it is July 20th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. But just to get started, I was going to give you a little bit of some background into Sergio Ramos. Like I said, he's 6 foot. Like I said, he's a very aggressive defender. He's incredibly technically gifted as well. He's really good at spotting out the ball. He's incredibly good at kicking it out and not taking on too many fouls. He does get a lot of cards. I think he's the most carded player in like Champions League history ever. But he does do a really good job of limiting opposing teams from scoring. And he does have a lot of edge to him, which will result in him getting a lot of cards, but it does result in his team allowing a lot less goals. So, like I said, he came up at Acama, Spain. He came up through the Sevilla program, and then he was eventually called up to Sevilla in 2004, 2005. And I mean, his only year he got called up, they remained in the sixth spot in La Liga, but they did allow four less goals a game. And I feel like his appearance there definitely impacted that. Immediately, he was sold to Real Madrid. Real Madrid immediately scooped this kid up in 2005 when he was just 19, and they kind of just let him start from the very beginning and let him see what he can do. In 2005, 2006, Real Madrid would finish up as runner-ups in La Liga. As Ronaldo, as in Brazilian Ronaldo, was leading the team in scoring as they finished in the round of 16 in the Champions League. And Sergio Ramos was one of the starting young players along that line, and he asserted himself. He was good enough to start on the Spanish team for the 2006 World Cup in Germany, where he conceded 3 goals in 3 matches played, which is still incredibly impressive for how young he was, for how good that Spanish line is. But I mean, he kind of see himself playing around on Real Madrid. The next couple of seasons, they would win Champions League with Van Nistelrooy and Raul leading in those separate seasons. But the first year, you really started to see Sergio Ramos really sort of ascend into one of the league's just most premier defensive center backs. When Real Madrid officially moved him back was the 2008-2009 season. In this season, in 32 matches played in La Liga, he would score 4 goals and he would concede 38 goals, which is just over 1 goal a game, which again is in professional soccer. And they would have 12 clean sheets on the season. But overall, I mean, they were an amazing team. They finished second in La Liga. They finished in the round of 16 in Champions League, but they did win the Supercopa de España, and that is when Gonzalo Higuain led Real Madrid in scoring a couple of years before they got Ronaldo. But yeah, they were no longer the number 1 team in La Liga, but then that's when Barcelona really started winning and really kind of dominating. But Sergio Ramos was definitely doing his own to really hold Real Madrid that high. The very next year, they would finish second in La Liga again, as Higuain would lead the team in scoring with 27 goals. And on the defensive end, Sergio Ramos conceded less than a goal a game, while in Real Madrid that season, he only conceded 31 goals in 33 total matches played in La Liga, and he had 11 clean sheets. He scored 4 goals himself. And in 2009, 2010, at 24 years old, he was already one of the world's top center backs. And he was the captain of the Spanish team that went to the South African World Cup in 2010. That game, they would play 7 total matches. They would allow 2 goals in total, and they'd have 5 clean sheets. So that was an incredible an impressive defensive performance. And I would imagine a lot of that credit would go to Sergio Ramos as one of the center backs that was really holding it down that year for that Spanish team. And just looking at it, considering he only conceded 2 goals in 7 matches, it was a huge defensive effort from Spain, especially from Sergio Ramos holding it down at center mid. And carrying off of that momentum, going into the 2010-11 season was a really, really big one for Real Madrid as they signed Cristiano Ronaldo from Manchester United that season. They finished second in La Liga with 92 points. They ended up winning the Copa del Rey, and Cristiano Ronaldo ended up leading the team in goals his very first full season in La Liga. Sergio Ramos that season would finish by allowing only 25 goals in 31 matches played and scoring 3 goals. And in Champions League, he would only concede 5 goals in 8 matches. And there were 5 clean sheets that year. That year in 2010, 2011, they would lose in the semifinals of Champions League. But and they'd start to make a run where they were starting to make it very, very deep, and they were starting to get very, very dangerous as soon as Cristiano Ronaldo got there. But those were the Barcelona dominant years when Lionel Messi was kind of really taking over. But with Cristiano Ronaldo there, they were about to win. Going into the 2011-2012 season, where Real Madrid won La Liga, and Cristiano Ronaldo led the way with 46 total goals, the second most he'd have in a calendar year. Sergio Ramos at the same time was able to only concede 28 goals in 34 matches played, conceding 0.82 goals per game. He conceded less than a goal a game as the starting center back for, for a professional soccer team in Spain. And they also had 12 clean sheets on the season, and he was a big reason why. That season, like I said, Real Madrid was most definitely on a roll, and this would continue into their 2012-2013 season because that was the second year in which they finished in the semifinals of the Champions League. In 2012-2013, they would finish second in La Liga. They would go on to finishes semifinals of Champions League for the second year in a row as Cristiano Ronaldo led the way with 34 goals. They did end up winning the Supercopa in 2012-2013. And in this season, Sergio Ramos would only concede 24 goals in 26 matches played, and he scored 4 goals. And in Champions League, he would concede 7 goals in 5 matches with no clean sheets, but he had 9 clean sheets in La Liga. Not what they were normally used to, but he still conceded less than a goal a game as the starting center back for Real Madrid, especially a team where another thing to consider is that when you're playing Real Madrid, you're giving it your best. So they're getting a lot of these other teams' best performance. And of course, Sergio Ramos is one of the main reasons that they're allowing or conceding less than a goal a game. This continues into his 2013-2014 season. And in this season, in La Liga, he would only concede 29 goals in the 32 matches he played, putting in 4 goals while also adding in 13 clean sheets. And for a historic season for Real Madrid, where this is the first Champions League they've won since 2002. I mean, that was about 10 seasons, 11 seasons in between. They had also won the Supercopa, the Copa del Rey, and Cristiano Ronaldo would lead the team in goals, and he would help bring them to a Champions League. And at that point, he won his first Champions League as a Real Madrid player. And then Sergio Ramos, like I said, was helping in a lot, especially on the defensive side, allowing less than a goal a game, and an incredible season. And even in Champions League, he only allowed 3 goals in 11 games. He even pitched in 3 goals in that whole series. There were 3 clean sheets along the way, which helped him get all the way to the finals. And Sergio Ramos had gotten at least at that point. And by 2013-14, not only was he a World Cup winner for Spain, but he was also a Champions League winner, a Champions League champion for Real Madrid, the capital of Spain. So, that kind of adds bonus points. Going into his 2014-15 season, Sergio Ramos would allow 25 goals. He conceded 25 goals in 27 La Liga games and 27 clean sheets and he would add 4 goals himself in a season where Real Madrid would finish second in La Liga. They would finish in the round of 16 in the Supercopa, finishing in the semifinals of the Champions League. and Cristiano Ronaldo was once again the leading scorer on this team. As Sergio Ramos really kind of helped on the back end. But at this point, they were ready to build back up because at this point they were mad when they got knocked out. In 2015-16, Sergio Ramos would concede 20 goals in 23 matches and having 8 total clean sheets. In a season where he played 47 total games, only allowing 28 goals in those games, allowing or conceding less than a goal per 90 minutes. Additionally, Real Madrid would go on to win the Champions League after finishing second in La Liga. And in the 10 Champions League games that he's played, he had clean sheets in 8 of those 10 games, which is wildly impressive. And he'd only conceded 3 goals in those matches played. When Real Madrid's defense is at its absolute toughest, and Sergio Ramos was the captain of that unit in 2015-16. That was his age 30 season. At that point, he really couldn't be touched. And at that point, they had been Champions League winners for the second time in 3 years, bringing it back to Madrid and Cristiano, and kind of just adding on to the legacy of Sergio Ramos and Cristiano Ronaldo. Going to 2016-2017, in the 27 La Liga matches he played, Sergio Ramos conceded 33 goals, but he added 7 in himself. Adding in, even in the Champions League, he would concede 14 goals in 11 matches. In total, he'd score 12 goals and allow 60 goals in about 47 games with Real Madrid as he'd finished with 8 total clean sheets, conceding 1.19 goals a game, which is still incredibly very impressive for a defender. That year, Real Madrid would win La Liga for the first time since 2012. And they would win Champions League for the third time in 4 years. They would win the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo leading the way in goal scoring, and they would lose in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. That's what kept them out from winning the treble. But Real Madrid was inflicting their damage. They were inflicting their control on the rest of the Champions League, and I think that year they beat Juventus. It was a very, very comfortable year, and Sergio Ramos was a member of a team that won 3 of the previous 4 championship titles while still being one of the best defenders in all of soccer. This would lead into the 2017-2018 season, where in 26 La Liga matches, he finished conceding 27 goals and scoring 4 himself. In a season where Real Madrid would finish 3rd in La Liga, they would win Champions League for the fourth time in 5 years. And they'd win Super Cup, Supercopa de España, and the FIFA World Cup. And after Cristiano Ronaldo led the team in scoring again, this would prove to be another historic season for Real Madrid. And even just looking at Sergio Ramos, in every single game that he played, including the World Cup in Brazil, he conceded just over 1 goal a game. And this is his 2018 season. He's 32 by the end of this. And of course, Spain got knocked out in the group round, but he still only gave up 2 goals in the 2 matches that he played in. And Real Madrid, he's basically just stacking up the trophies at this point. At this point he has 4 Champions League trophies to his name, and he has a World Cup for Spain. So he has 5 championships where he's just representing his home country. That's insane. That's wild. That's an amazing story. And going on to 2018-19, Real Madrid finished 3rd in La Liga as Cristiano Ronaldo jetted for Juventus. They finished losing in the round of 16 in the Champions League, whereas Sergio Ramos was still kind of putting in his work. In La Liga, in the 28 matches he played, he conceded 31 goals. And he still scored 6 goals on his end, and he was still able to finish with 10 clean sheets on the year. In total, he only allowed 56 goals in his 47 matches played, conceding an average of 1.13 goals per 90 minutes, which is incredibly impressive considering a lot of teams score 1 or 2 goals. He's only keeping it. He's allowing 1.13 goals on this Real Madrid team, keeping this defense and this midfield just intact. The only problem Real Madrid had that year was scoring, because they were still able to allow as many goals. Not as many. They allowed a little more goals than in years past, but their attacking wasn't hitting. But Sergio Ramos was holding it down the defensive end. And then going into this current year, where Real Madrid won La Liga for the first time since Cristiano Ronaldo was there in 2017. As of right now, they finished in the quarterfinal for the Copa del Rey, and they're sitting in the round of 16, waiting to play off against Manchester City once the Champions League picks back up in this quarantine. They went on to win the Supercopa de España, and Karim Benzema is leading the team in goals for the second year in a row. And Sergio Ramos this season on the defensive end is still he only conceded 20 goals in 35 matches this season, and he still put in 11 goals. You could argue this might be his best statistical season, and he's had 17 clean sheets in those 35 La Liga matches. In the 53 matches that he's played this season, he scored 17 goals, which as a center back is insane. He's conceded only 33 goals in those 53 games, 20 and 35. Incredible number. He has 26 total clean sheets in 53 games. That's half the games. Half of 53 is 26 and a half, but you can't play 26 and a half games. This season, he's conceded 0.6 goals per 90 minutes, and he's hit 49% clean sheets. He has 14 yellow card bookings, but I mean, to be that good and to put up those numbers as a defensive player, as a defensive powerhouse individually, I mean, you necessarily have to take a good amount of yellow cards in your day. But considering what he's done for the Spanish team and what he's done for Real Madrid, what he's been able to rack up is incredible. Just as a defender, he's won a World Cup with Spain in 2010. He's won the Euro champions in Spain twice. In 2008, 2012, he's won the Champions League 4 times in Real Madrid. And he won 3 in a row. He won La Liga Championship 5 times. He won the Spanish Cup twice. He won the FIFA Club World Cup 4 times, and he won the UEFA Super Cup 3 times. And as of right now, he is a 34-year-old defender who I would argue just played the best season of his career last year this past season in helping Real Madrid to win the La Liga, and they could still have a good chance of running through Champions League as long as they get through Man City. That'd be a really tough team to get through, but I imagine they can do it. And Sergio Ramos has been holding it down since 2005, and he's still there. And he just put up his best statistical season this past season. So if you're gonna ask me if Sergio Ramos is still elite, I still think so. If you're gonna ask, I don't know how long he's going to be elite. Of course, no one's elite forever, but as of right now, I will say he is. He's one of the players that's really, really fun to watch. I like watching Real Madrid anyway because they're a really, really good young team, and Zinedine Zidane is an amazing manager. So I like watching them, and Sergio Ramos definitely holds it down on the back end. But yeah, this is a guy who is already a Spanish soccer legend along with being a world soccer legend. This dude probably never has to buy a single thing in his country again because he already earned a World Cup and he's gotten 4 championships for Real Madrid. So there's not much more I can say. He's as elite as center defensive men come. Despite the fact that he's only 6 feet tall, he's really dominated in a position where you kind of have to be a lot bigger than he is. But he's really been that dude year in, year out, and Real Madrid thanks him for it. With that said, if you ever get a chance, peep my boy Sergio Ramos. He's currently wearing number 4 for Real Madrid. He sometimes even takes the penalty kicks as well, but watch out for my boy. With that said, there's not much more I can say. I've said my piece. Peace out.